Hey, music community, Jeff back again. Time for another one of the first one, the one you never forget. Little series that I have picked up from Vance over at Zep Pearl. I've done quite a few of these, and so here we are doing another one. This time around, we're talking Adam Ant, or Adam and the Ants, or anything ant related or atom related. And I'm actually pulled pretty much everything that I could think of in my collection. So we're not just only looking at the major releases, but some of the other oddities too. Not near as many as I want. But let's get right into this. If you're familiar with the 80s, Adam and the Ants were very popular in the pop scene. So let's start with this. This is a newer release of old material, but Family and Noise, I picked this up about a year ago. I think I showed it. This is an actual 2010, unofficial type release on vinyl of 1978 recording. So this is some of the earliest recordings of Adam and the Ants that I think I have, definitely on vinyl. But aside from like some of the other compilation stuff, but great stuff. This era is of course when it was a different band. It was Adam and the Ants, and then after the first album, in a second you'll see the band was split from Adam, and went on to become Bow Wow Wow, and with a new singer, and then Adam reformed with a different lineup. This early day stuff is just some of my favorite. Just some of my favorite, the early punk type scene. Anyway, and so then from there, he moved into his first official album, Dirk Wears White Socks, 1979, and still one of my favorite albums. Just absolutely love this era. And I discovered this is the UK version. And when back in the 80s, when that had come out, there was a US version that had also come out that had slightly different songs. I'll show in a second. But in the day when in America you had the US version, I found the UK version of the cassette in my record store. This was purchased back in the early 80s. I was like, what is this? This is a cool cassette version. It looks so much different. Come to find out that some of the songs are different. Some of the songs were slightly edited. Some other songs were put on the US version. But this is the version I had growing up that I listened to and loved the most, and was so great to have finally found that on vinyl. And of course UK version did come out on CD, which I'll show you later on. But this was the version that most of us saw in the US, Dirk Wears White Socks. And so it's a different cover, and like I say, the songs are slightly changed. It's got a lot of the same stuff on here, but there's a little bit of tweaks here and there, and a little difference in the track list. I also have that on CD. I'll show those as I go. The US CD version. I do have the UK CD, but we'll get to that later. This Kings of the Wild Frontier, 1980 or 81. Anyway, yeah, in there, 81. I'm drawing a blank now. This is where I discovered them. This is the first one, and yes, in this case, it is the first one, the one I never forget. This is still high water mark for me. Love them all. Love every era of Adam. Love all the stuff he did, all the changes he made. But this album, I never get tired of. I could listen to this album all the time, never get tired of it. Great stuff, love it, still listen to it quite a bit. So much so that a couple years ago, a handful of years ago, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, they released this as a box set. Nice gold foil box set. This is the UK edition. This is a US edition. Again, songs slightly different. This is the reissue of the UK edition on vinyl, and it comes with all kinds of CDs, DVDs, live stuff, pictures. Just, you'll see right here. It's got all of that, an entire package of greatness, posters, pictures. But like I said, it is the UK on gold vinyl, the UK edition with the UK song arrangement. So not a huge difference, but there is a slight difference between those two. And I do have the nice price CD version of that also. Let's see, this is probably in that time frame. There's Live at the BBC. This, I don't think this has been on vinyl. If it has, I probably can't afford it. But this is like some live stuff. The BBC that had there's a lot of bands that have Live at the BBC, and they are another one. Similarly, the Peel Sessions, which again were recordings of this might even have been, I think, maybe prior to the other ones. These recordings are from, these are 1978. Some of this is the stuff that's on Family and Noise. that album that I showed. I think it might be some of these recordings, but it's from the same time era. So these I should have showed earlier. Same with this. This is a later compilation called B-Side Baby, and even though it's got the same picture as Family of Noise, these songs go from the early day B-sides all the way up into albums we haven't even shown yet. So I should show this a little bit later as a reminder, but because it was some of the B-sides from even things like Prince Charming. This was 1981. That was 1980. I'm pretty sure. As far as I know, there's no UK versus US version. I don't think. But there is a gatefold versus a non-gatefold. This is one of the earliest vinyl records I picked up in 2017 when I first got back into it. And I did pick up a copy. I think I got it on eBay for pretty cheap of the gatefold. Kind of cool. But there are, I think I've seen a non-gatefold version out there too. Another album that I could listen to ad nauseum. Stand and Deliver, just one of the singles I picked up. I don't have a lot of singles by Adam, but this is one that I happened to find, and if I find them, I'll buy them, because sometimes they have different songs on the B-sides, like the B-side album has. Things like this tend to have just some of the tracks from it. Some of them have extended versions, some have instrumentals. This one's got Stand and Deliver with Beat My Guest. So Beat My Guest is a non-album track that was on the B-sides when they pulled them all together. All right, then Adam split from Adam and the Ants, and he went on to do solo album in 82 with his first solo album. And this, of course, is the album Friend or Foe is the one that you get, Goody Two Shoes, which became a huge hit on MTV and great stuff. He added horns, kind of added, it's a whole different sound, very much more commercial, but absolutely just love it. There's some quirky songs in here that back in the day I'm like, I don't know if I dig that much, but have since grown to absolutely love it. And I think, I'm going to put this to the side, I think most of the B-side stuff, this has Beat My Guest and Making History and some of the other ones, which came from this time frame. I'm thinking we don't go much further than that time frame, but I could be wrong. I'm going to file that to the side. Because then we move into 83 with Strip. Again, a little more on the commercial side. Some of the songs are kind of fun, light-hearted. They have innuendos in them. They're double entendres type stuff. But, just fun, quirky stuff. I think at least one or two songs, or a couple songs, one song at least has Phil Collins playing drums. Phil Collins plays drums on here, which used to be on the sticker, I think, or maybe it was just harp. I don't think he plays on the whole album, but he played on one of the songs at least. Again, he's still got the cool Buccaneer-looking look, and just a little more glossy, fun stuff there. And then you jump to 1985, and you've got Vive le Rock. And so this album is, I think to me, is a little more guitar driven. It's got a lot of electronica feel at times, a little bit, just dance feels. Maybe I'm thinking because there are some dance mixes of some of these songs. But it seems a little, to me, feels a little less polished as the last album. As far as just the sound, just kind of goes with a little more guitar driven stuff. Just absolutely love this album too. Then he went totally different with Manners and Physique. This is a Jump Forward, 1990, I guess. Totally different thing. It feels like it's not, I don't think it's even a band effort. It doesn't have the same type of band. It's him doing straight up pop, dance type pop. Totally different, but absolutely love it. Now, there was an album prior to this or right after this called Persuasions. Very similar in style, got shelved by the record label and never released. I have a bootleg or a copy of it that somebody sent. Oh, I love the album. It's just right up, I'd love to see them release that. It would be very similar to this style, which again is very different from everything he's done previously, but again, I love it all. And this album I love so much that I found the other day, Room at the Top. This has got two different versions of that, a dance version and a regular version. And he has some videos from that on MTV that used to play. And I do have Manners and Physique on CD. Now, a couple years later, he put Wonderful out. Never been on vinyl. Would love to see this happen. This is definitely more I don't want to say AOR at all because it's not really rock. It's adult-oriented pop. It's got a little bit more of a mature feel to it. When I say mature, just, it's not like cheesy, fun lyrics. It's kind of love songs and stuff like that. Phenomenal album. There is a More Wonderful or Extra Wonderful, which was some downloads you could get back in the day, and it's got a bunch of extra songs on there, and there's actually 2 discs of Extra Wonderful. I just have a bunch of copies I burned on CDR. So yeah, it would be great if they could release and there were some singles from this album that had stuff on the back. I don't know if it was tracks or interviews, but there was a bunch of different singles that had bonus stuff on the back that I never did pick up. But Extra Wonderful, I think, has a bit of that. This would be great to see him release as a double record with the Extra Wonderful tracks on it, because it's like almost a half an album or more of great material. All right, then he disappeared for umpteen decades. Came back they released a live at Bloomsbury. Just him. I think it's just him and his guitar. Yeah, readings and vocals by Adam, guitar by Dave Posh. So it's him talking, singing with a guitar player. Still great stuff. And then, disappeared for a while longer, and we finally get a new studio album. I'll go with this. 2013. The title, Adam Ant is the Blueblack Hussar in Marrying the Gunner's Daughter. Nice long title there. And then, of course, I do have the CD of that too. The very different than anything he's ever done before. There are some things on here that I find a little cringy. Some of the backing vocals, I'm like, why did they do that? It just doesn't go right. But some of it harkens way back to the early day feel of like the Dirk Wears White Sox era, where it was just a little more raw and odd. And then there's some songs on here that, I don't know. It doesn't sound anything like the stuff he's done later on. It definitely sounds more like the earlier stuff, with some weird and interesting stuff in there. So, saw him on tour a couple years after this, but it was mainly a lot of the best of stuff. So, I don't know if there was an actual tour for that. Now, the other extra things I've got, they released a box set, remasters of all of his albums, and this is the box set where they put out the UK Dirk Wears White Sox with bonus tracks. Everything on here in this box set, this is my pride and joy. Everything in this box set. They released the box with like 1 or 2 CDs, and then they released the CDs over time, and then you fill the box set up. Every one of the CDs has the bonus tracks that go with it. They're all remastered. They're all the original mixes and everything, as far as the way the songs are arranged and everything. So this, I finally got the cassette on CD, the UK version on CD. Great stuff. And again, it's just, it's every album in their own little sleeve. Great stuff. And it comes with a bonus disc called Adamant Redo, which is a bunch of demos and stuff. Just extras, a bunch of extras and demos and stuff. This is my pride and joy, just because I love it. It's really expensive if you try to get this nowadays, but I love it because it's all of the albums, all of the studio albums, done perfectly with a lot of extras. So this is something I picked up over the years. It's a 2 discs, best of, and a live album. You don't get a whole lot of live Adam and the Ants, and so this would be more Adam Ant. It's got stuff from Vive La Rock on live. It doesn't say, it's probably got the date on there somewhere. I remember picking this. I saw this in New York when I was living in New York. I saw it in the record store, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I saw it once or twice, and I'm thinking I'm going to buy it. I'm not a big Best Of fan, but I definitely wanted to buy it because of the live album. Then they released an Ant box a handful of years ago. It comes with a book explaining all kinds of stuff, and it's got 3 CDs, and it's a lot. It's kind of like a compilation of Best Of with a lot of demos, a lot of early mixes, a lot of extra stuff, a lot of unreleased songs. It's just filled with stuff all the way up through Wonderful. It's even got Wonderful on there. It is just an amazing box set of, and then, it's for the hardcore fan because it's got a lot of the rough demos and stuff. Then I do have a couple picture discs of singles, and these are things I bought a handful of years ago. And this is a like 1980, 81, 82 version of Friends. It's some of the old songs, but because he was getting more popular, this is from the first album time frame. but because he was getting more popular and stuff, they released some of the stuff, the B-sides, Kick and Physical, great stuff. And then I have a couple from the Friend or Foe album. And these are the ones that I had back in the day. And each one of these does have a track that's now in the album, which is why I bought them back in the day. This one's got Juanito de Bendito. And then you have this, which is the Goody Two Shoes backed with Red Scab, which is one of the B-sides that, like I said, fits on that B-side thing. So he always had these cool extra track B-sides. Handful of years ago, I forgot the year when they did this, but he released a autobiography, I guess you would say. Stand and Deliver, yeah, the autobiography. Adam Ant. Got this. Read this. Either I read it. This is a used copy I got from Amazon. It's kind of got some water damage. Got pictures and stuff in there. And then I bought the audio version, 4 CDs with Adam Ant actually reading it. And I know I listened to this, so I may have listened to this more than read the book, but it's the entire unabridged book read by Adam Ant. Learned a lot of great stuff that I didn't know about his, and then the issues he went through with the mental health and all that. The early days, dating Jamie Lee Curtis, all the fun stuff. Just was a great read. And so, yeah, that I think is the majority of everything that I have Adam Ant related. That was it. The first one, King of the Wild Frontier, is one of my absolute favorite albums to this day, like I said. So that's where it started. That's where it still sticks with me. But absolutely, I could put on any album, any time of the day. Sometimes I just listen to demos just to hear rough mixes. I'm obsessed with listening to it as much as I can, as often, and I never get sick of it. I'm always on the lookout for interesting things like this things, but we don't find these as much here in the U.S., I think. And I see people showing them on other channels, and they're from overseas, and I'm just like envious that they're more readily available. There's a lot of the earlier day stuff on singles that would be fun to have. That's it for this one, though. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.